It's finally here, guys. So after a tremendously long wait, we finally have the Blu-ray for Fate's Day Night Heaven's Feel the Movie Part 3. So my unboxing video for the Part 2 Blu-ray went over really well, and even though this one is more than a week late from the film's Blu-ray release, I figured I'd go ahead and do one for this as well. So a little bit of background on this. The film itself actually premiered in Japan in March of 2012. And we were supposed to have U.S. screenings of it in May, and then the coronavirus happened, and the whole COVID pandemic, and all those theatrical screenings were canceled. They finally took a chance and got us a limited window to see the film in theaters through Fathom Events in November. And then fast forward to the Blu-ray release, which was, of course, this at the end of March in 2021, a full year after the film debuted in theaters in Japan. Now, it was supposed to come out on the 28th. It is a full week late for me, and that wasn't just me picking a slow shipping option from Japan. That was Ami failing to have the order prepped and ready to ship in time, which I can't necessarily blame them for, because I get there's still a lot of things going on with international shipping due to COVID, not to mention the whole Suez Canal incident and all of the international commerce that was delayed because of that, so I get it. But here it is, it's finally here, and the trilogy is finally complete. This is deeply significant to people that have been following the Fate series for years, because not only is this the end of the trilogy, this is the end of Fate's Day Night as a whole, because starting all the way back in 2006 with the first adaptation, all the way up until now, we finally have all three routes adapted, and just this film project alone was first announced alongside the Limited Blade Works anime in 2014, so to have, you know, the first film come out in 2017, the second in 2019, and the third one now, man, it's just absolutely crazy, the amount of time this took and the hardcore investment from the fans, and I'm just so happy that it's finally here. Let's go ahead and pop this thing open. I promise there'll be less of a glare when we finally take this plastic off. So this is very much the same sort of setup as the previous two Blu-rays. So to answer the obvious question that everyone's going to ask, does it have English subtitles? Yes, it does. So I've said this about the other two movies, and I will say it about this one as well, is that this is basically the exact same theatrical edition that premiered in theaters over here, and so it's the same subtitle track, and it does have the Japanese audio, English subtitles. No English dub has even been recorded for this film yet, but just take a look at that artwork. That is so amazing. And each of these films has a different sort of, it's the same style box, but this one has a different border. It's like a silver border around it, where I think the previous one was red and the first one was pink. And of course this bit right here does come off. This just has information about the film on the back, and I try to keep these. I have them on all three, but without that, it still makes for a nice little concise package. And all of these spines right here are sort of meant to fit together. And on this side, of course, we have a little bit of a pinkish hue. The Part 2 movie had a lot of red on it to kind of insinuate the change into Alter Sakura, which is pretty cool. I wasn't really sure what artwork they were going to go for with this, so seeing this is pretty nice, because this artwork was not on any of the promotional stuff. There was some different pieces of art I thought they were going to go for with this, but typically they try to do a piece of art that's not like the main movie poster whenever they do these Blu-ray releases, and I do greatly appreciate that. But I've mentioned in many, many videos how there's a certain release dynamic for the Aniplex Fate Blu-rays, and that is the original Japanese versions are very high-end but very expensive, and then they do an Americanized version, which is a lot cheaper. It has a lot of the nicer elements taken out of it, and it's still expensive, but not quite as expensive. So the Fate Zero Blu-rays and the Limited Blade Works The Series Blu-rays are like that, where you had like the $300+ Japanese Blu-rays and the $115, $130 English Blu-rays. I waited for the English Blu-rays for both Fate Zero and Unlimited Blade Works The Series, but I had no problem getting the Japanese versions of each of the Heaven's Feel movies. So this should be the film itself, as well as the bonus disc and the soundtrack disc. Man, this artwork is just incredible. Again, it's got that pinkish hue there. Having the soundtrack fully complete as well is going to be awesome. And then, oh man, oh, the best part of the movie here, of course, is the spoilers. Speaking of spoilers, I just absolutely cannot stand all of the people that literally the very moment that this Blu-ray was published, people were posting like all of the money shots as uploaded Facebook clips. And it was way worse than with Part 2. Like, Part 2 had that as well, but more people were able to see Part 2 in theaters. And I just hate people who are like, I have to be the first person to post it so I can get all the views and likes and all the other arbitrary internet crap that people want. So here's the art book, which is primarily colored in white, which is interesting. Kind of, I guess, there's some thematic elements in the movies with like Sakura's white dress, and it's symbolizing sort of purity. And so we've seen this image a lot of the promotional material. This was one of the first posters that came out for it, and I thought this was just absolutely incredible how like chaotic it is, while still keeping all of the best moments of the movie. I thought this might have been what they went for with the Blu-ray cover. And then this, I thought they may have gone with this for the Blu-ray cover as well. This was actually my phone background for pretty much the entirety of 2020. This is really nice as well. I haven't really seen this one too much. Kirei notably in the background there. And some other promotional material. Very, very nice. So here's the main artist illustrations of the characters. Just an absolutely fantastic job with that. For those of you that have seen the movie, this fight was a little bit... I think people were expecting this to be a long, drawn-out fight, but I'm actually pretty content with how they handled it. And they reused some music from Unlimited Blade Works in that shot. They reused... What is the name of that song in... Oh, Ring Your Bell. They reused that from the Unlimited Blade Works, so it's pretty cool. And then Rin Op infamously trying to save Sakura from her horrible fate. This was promotional art as well, and this is like hella spoilers too if you don't know the story for Heaven's Feel. And of course, our happy ending with Sakura and her eyes kind of going back to normal, and Medusa staying around to live happily ever after with them. That was another thing as well with this movie that we were really kind of concerned about going into it, was which ending are they going to go with? And I was actually really, really concerned, and there were some fake spoilers leaked as well where people were saying that they were going to go with the, I guess, true ending or bad ending, when in reality they went with the good ending from the visual novel where Shiro does get to come back and Medusa stays and all that, which is pretty cool. That's pretty nice. So, obviously... Shiro has to project Roaias in order to survive that final battle, so that's pretty cool. Seeing this image pop up a lot recently, I guess that was maybe something for the Blu-ray release. I guess Shinji dying there as he did at the end of Part 2. Archer is not really in this movie at all, but there's a lot of symbology of, you know, passing the torch, so to speak, to Shiro, which I think is pretty cool. We don't get a whole lot of Ultra Saber as well. Yeah, this is what her eyes are kind of just like glazed over in all of Fate Stay Night, and we're used to seeing her that way. So like when her eyes finally go back to normal, it's like, oh my god, that's so cool. She looks so pretty now, and they grow out her hair. That's also an image that everybody was just absolutely in love with when they posted that online, and it's cool to see it without any kind of watermarks or anything like that. So I don't want to spoil this entire thing, so I'll leave it at that for now. And there is one more final thing, which I think is the making of book, animation material. So it has sort of the notes. There's some little postcard things in here. That must be something for Eimer, the musical group that did. I actually do have the soundtrack single for the song for this already. So this has like little developers' notes about the animation and stuff like that, key moments of the film. So that is pretty cool. Can't read it because I can't read Japanese, unfortunately, but it is nice to have. So let's do one little comparison between this one and the previous Blu-rays and get them all nicely lined up in one shot, and that'll be it for this. And there we go. The trilogy is complete. 1, 2, and 3. So, man, I'm so overwhelmed, guys. This has been such an amazing journey, and I'm so happy that I could have shared this experience of the release of these films, going to see them, watching them again at my house with the fans, and streaming them over our Discord. Like, it was just such an incredible experience. And I really hope that it's as special to you guys as it is to me. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.